who I want to be when I grow up. I do not know. Okay. Before I even set foot on campus, I had changed my major 4 times. I wanted to be a communications major, I wanted to be an English education major, I wanted to be a social work, and then I settled on mechanical engineering. And I love mechanical engineering, I love engines, but I have not found, that's not my ultimate place, that's not my dream job. It's just, I'm kind of good at it. Like, I'm good at math, so I stuck with mechanical engineering. But when I grow up, I want to be like one of 3 things. I haven't settled on which one. But I either want to be a poet, a linguistics teacher, which is just basically a fancy word for like, I'm going to teach people languages, or a social worker. So this is my speech about what I will be if I eventually grow up. Poetry has been in my life since the 1st grade when my teacher asked us to write a poem for a contest. I am the queen of procrastination. I did not write the poem myself. My life motto is, why do today what you can do tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So I copied a poem from Shel Silverstein. I don't even remember what poem it was or what book it was, but I know it was really short because I wrote it on the bus ride to school that day. And I didn't win the contest, obviously, because it wasn't my poem. Actually, I deserve not to win, but after that, I knew that like I just had to be good at poetry. Like, if I did one thing right, I was going to do poetry right, just to make up for 1st grade when I copied Shel Silverstein. Let's see. I haven't written much since high school, but wait, I just skipped the gigantic part, sorry. In middle school, my English teacher would have us write stories and prose, but she never let us write poetry, which was ridiculous, but that's a side note. So instead of writing that, I convinced her to let me write poetry, which worked out really well for me because I obviously passed the class, but she never gave me my poems back, and I didn't know at the time that you're not supposed to give people the original, you're supposed to give them a copy. So my good works in middle school are all left out. But I still have like a tub full of poems that I've written. Some of them finished, some of them I have not finished yet, and one day I'll get to. I have entered many not many, probably like 5 or 6 poetry contests. I won first in one, and it was about a teacher. It was about that teacher because she let me pass. But and then I've got honorable mention in a couple, and the rest were better luck next time, you know, keep writing. But I still continue to write, yes, even though I haven't really gotten any awards or been published, because I think in poems and like I breathe and rhyme, and my dreams speak verses too deep for haikus. Like, I am a poet. If there's one thing I know, I've got words in me. And if poetry doesn't work out, then I will work on my love of language. English is a really beautiful language, but Spanish is more eloquent, and Arabic is deeper, and Mandarin sings a bit better. It's just, languages are gorgeous to me. The way that you can shape somebody's words to say Djreya or just anything is just beautiful to me. I love languages. I am proud of the fact that I can say I love you in multiple languages. And the way that, I know how to say I love you in Arabic, but I learned it because I had a crush on a guy who was Arabic, and one of his friends told me to walk up to him and say Bahabek Habibi, which apparently means I love you, lover. So I know that, and I probably will never say that to anyone again, but you know, I know how to say that now. It's pretty awesome. I have the ability to communicate to many different people at even a basic level, even though I have like a horrible accent probably to them, at least I can, and that to me is amazing. I have always had an interest in other cultures ever since I found out that like half of my family does not speak English as their first language. That to me is just beautiful, and I want to eventually learn how to speak to them outside of English, of course. Words to me matter. They can make or break you. Like, the way that you can build your words will matter much more than whatever degree you get, because if you can't communicate, it's kind of, a moot point. It really doesn't get too far. So I want to be that person who helps people to put their words together. I want to be that sensei who just teaches you how to build large buildings, but of words, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. So how your words are, how you use your words will get you much farther than your degree is, I believe. And I want to be that person who helps people to get them further, because at the end of the day, I also want to help people. Anything I can do to assist is worth it. I have not always wanted to be a social worker. I probably wanted to be a social worker since about the 9th grade when I moved to Georgia. I was folding laundry and watching Nancy Grace, which is two things I do not do often, so this is already an odd story. But she was talking about this boy who had been kidnapped, quote unquote, because he actually wasn't. And she was discussing it, and I was like, this is just like a sketchy story. And come to find out, his parents had basically killed him. His mother had allowed her boyfriend to beat him to death, which is really sad. And I will never forget his name. It was Robert Manuel. He was an 8-year-old little boy, and he was just like adorable, just so adorable. And I wanted to be a social worker because I did not want that to happen. Like, I did not want to be the person who's sitting around watching the news as a kid's death is like plastered on, and I couldn't save him. I want to be like a social worker, Superman. Like, I don't know. It's just like I want to save all the little kids because of him, because that shouldn't have happened. His mother had actually had her first son taken away from her because she broke the skull of a 1-year-old. And to me, that's suspect that a social worker did not step in that day. So I want to be that person who fixes all those band-aids that no one else looked at. And if I don't end up social working, I want to own an orphanage, which probably won't happen until I'm old and done traveling. Being a poet or a sensei of linguistics or helping those who need it is what I want to do. It's what I feel like I was made to do. I don't really have anything else I want to do. I like engineering, but it's not, some things, that's for my brain. And being a poet is for my heart. So, I feel like I got to do them both. I'll leave you with this quote from Djreya Boyd. I happen to be Djreya Boyd. I may not be certain what I'll be doing when I'm older, but I'm certain that if I get to grow up, I'll make it count.